My name is Colonel Retired Mark Bradley, retired from the United States Air Force, live in Bella Vista. We moved to Northwest Arkansas because of children and grandchildren in the area. I retired 15 months ago from the Air Force and spent 39 years, 10 months, 15 days in the service of my country, either active duty or guard, and a mixture of both back and forth. And so that's why I'm here running for City Council, Ward 3.
What motivated you to run for City Council?
So what motivated me to run for City Council, I had some people reach out to me, ask if I'd be interested. I'd already actually seen that the election was coming up and that there were opportunities. I clearly am service-oriented. I served my country in my entire career. I want to continue to give back to the community. I think I bring a lot to the table from my leadership experiences, working on state and federal levels, working with legislatures, commanded different units and installations. So there's a lot of crossover for me from the City Council and my various experiences.
Have you ever ran for an elected position before? If the answer is yes, can you describe any of the circumstances about your learning experience previously running for office and your candidacy experience?
So have I ran for office before? Actually, I did, 30-something years ago, the year I graduated college. I thought, you know what? I want to run for office. I didn't have any money. I had a great experience. I ran for mayor of Provo, Utah, and learned a tremendous amount. It was a great experience for me and gave me a greater appreciation for the work and effort that it takes to run for office.
What professional or personal experience do you possess that you think the Bella Vista City Council has a need for?
I was in what they call Mission Support Group, which that's what runs a military installation in the Air Force. And my code name, my handle on the radio was the mayor. And so I had police department, the fire department, roads and grounds, everything that happens in the city of Bella Vista, for the most part, you do on a military installation. And I did those things on a daily basis for almost a decade. So I bring that experience along with budgeting. Budget's much larger than the Bella Vista city budget through different assignments that I've had. Also experiences working with foreign governments. I don't get pressured or flustered because of those experiences as well. And I served as president of Missouri National Guard Association, so I had a constituency that I represented that I got to go to leadership for or to politicians to advocate for the things that we needed in the military.
What professional or personal experience do you possess that you think the Bella Vista City Council has a need for?
I mentioned some of those already, but it's the ability to get things done, to listen. I managed a couple military installations. I also successfully navigated my entire career without an official complaint, which is a rarity because I addressed problems. It's important to identify issues before they come up or if they're starting to fester and address those and reach out to all sides and deal with that. So I have a long track record of success dealing with problems, solving problems, addressing hard issues.
Bella Vista boasts laws, regulations, and rules like any other city. However, Bella Vista's city government is often criticized for selective enforcement, no enforcement, or showing favoritism. How would you go about making sure all laws, regulations, and rules are fully and fairly enforced?
So with Bella Vista's, all the ordinances, the laws, the regulations, there are many people, many residents that see problems or issues and then they pin it on the city. And that's, I think what's really important to that is that when you get feedback from residents or you see challenges or issues, first of all, it's finding out who owns that. Is that a POA issue or an ACC issue? Maybe even Cooper community. Many people aren't as knowledgeable in those things, so that's number one, is to make sure that it is a city issue. If in fact it is a city issue, then it's really inquiry, right? So we inquire what the issue is, we talk to our residents, the people who have the challenges, then we go and we investigate with whether it's roads and grounds or code enforcement, ad nauseum, right? And find out what it is, and then work through that issue to resolution. And really, after that, it's important also to reach back out to the complainant or the organization that brought that up and rectify it, because ultimately, I work for the residents of Bella Vista. That's why I'm running. I represent their best interests and manage that with the laws and ordinances that are in place in the code enforcement. Those are the things that are really important.
What do you think is the number one issue that Bella Vista is facing as a community, and how will you impact it if you are elected for city council?
So I believe that the number one issue facing Bella Vista, and there's a lot of them as with any municipality, is revenue. And I say revenue because inflation, costs, there's a fight for talent, keeping good police officers, roads and grounds, all the things that come into play with the infrastructure, the sewer system or lack thereof in parts of town. And because of the revenue challenges, that means enhancing tax revenue. For me, the importance there is sales tax revenue to ease the burden on the homeowner from a property tax perspective, but to have that sales growth, that commercial growth, working through those things in case there's a hiccup in the economy so that we don't have to dip into the reserve funds that the city has. And always working with our partners that are involved in that to keep that on the front burner.
What do you think is more important, growing or preserving our way of life?
What's more important, growth or preserving our way of life? And I'm going to say yes to both of those, right? Because the growth's coming. We're not stopping that. So how do you manage the growth in a sustainable manner and maintaining or improving? So I wouldn't even say maintaining our way of life. I would say improving our way of life. And there are ways to do that with growth, because we're going to keep having more people come to Bella Vista. It's especially with the cost of living in our surrounding communities. And as we go through that process, key focus is the residents and lifestyle, way of life, improving it. And there are multiple ways to do that, but we have to manage the growth in a sustainable manner.
With the recent rebranding of Bella Vista, we no longer have an official motto. What do you think is an appropriate motto, and why?
What would Bella Vista's motto, or should it be? The beauty of Northwest Arkansas. Why? Because it is beautiful, it's unique. For this community to have the golf courses, the lakes, the creeks, the bike trails, all the POA amenities, it's a wonderful place. What a great place to raise a family, to retire like I have, and to spend your life here. I meet a lot of people, and they say, we don't have to go anywhere because it's all right here.
Do you think Blue Crane ownership and land acquisition will be good for Bella Vistans? What is your strategy to incorporate them into the city and balance the wishes of the people you will represent?
How do I feel about the Blue Crane recent developments, purchasing the shopping center where the Allens is, and then the 2,700 acres on the northwest part of Bella Vista? Is that a good or bad thing? Well, I think the answer is we don't really know. Should it be a good thing? Absolutely. Do we need to work with our partners, such as Blue Crane, to work through the development process so that it enhances the lifestyle, the goodness that's Bella Vista? Yes, that answer is yes. And working together as partners is super critical for that, because they're here and they're going to do things that are going to impact our community. And if we ignore that, we ignore that at our peril. And so it's important to keep the commercial space that's already part of Blue Crane viable and vibrant and refreshed, so that we can get the sales tax revenue and continue to grow the good name that is Bella Vista.
Short-term rentals have been a big issue lately for Bella Vista. Do you think the current short-term rental regulations are enough to protect the way of life for full-time residents? If not, what would you change and why?
I am a supporter of short-term rentals. First of all, I want to let people know that. I think allowing people to do things with their property is important, and sometimes that's a revenue enhancement that allows them to maybe stay in a home or keep a home, or if they move away. What I would like to see, and I've heard complaints about the short-term rentals, is it's constant evaluation, this iterative process of where are we at with the ordinance is it good enough? Maybe it's a density issue. How many short-term rentals can be on a street or in a neighborhood? because they bring noise and extra weekend activity, and do they exceed the occupancy ratings? And people who are here short term, they can blow off some of those things because they're in and out before there can be a real impact. So is it important to manage that? Yes. Do I support short-term rentals? Yes. Should we evaluate the density? I know of a street not very far behind me, actually, that has 4 short-term rentals on a small cul-de-sac, and it has a negative impact on some of the other residents on the street. So those things need to be managed and addressed so that we can maintain our quality of life.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
Thank NWA Exchange for providing this forum and for the things they do for the community. That's a big win for us and super important. What do I want to do for the community? Well, I want to represent the citizens. I want to take care of you because that's what I've done my whole career. And we have a saying in the Air Force: service before self, excellence in all we do, and integrity above all else. And those are things that I bring to the table to address the issues. An example, I would love to see bike lanes in Bella Vista. I know that comes with a cost, but we're not going to have fewer bikers here. We're not going to have fewer people on the roads. It's a safety issue. It's a quality of life issue. I would love to see a master plan for that. We can start incrementally putting those things in. Working with stoplights. The other thing is our school districts that we deal with. We deal with Pete Ridge and Bentonville and Gravette. And as Bella Vista grows, we're getting this younger population. People are moving here with young families. And how do we bring schools closer for these young ones? Being on a school bus for a long time, or people having to drive all the way to pick up and drop off their kid, that's a lot. I think that's important to work through that process because it's going to continue to rise to the surface as our population grows. And of course, working on sustainable commercial growth and sales tax, using those things that allow us to do the things that we need to do here in Bella Vista and keep our police force paid and functional and giving them the tools to do their job. And my job is to serve you and be responsive to your questions. I'm Colonel Mark W. Bradley, retired. I am running for Bella Vista City Council Ward 3, Position 1, and look forward to your vote in November.